Shalom everyone, it's called Torah, and today we will discuss Parashat Va'etchanan, the parasha that we will read this Shabbat. In this parasha we have one of the most famous narratives that every Jew, and it really does not matter how far away he or she is from Judaism or from observing or from practicing, when I would say the following verse, every Jew will know what I'm talking about. And the verse and the narrative that it is in our parsha is Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Hear, O Israel, Hashem is our God, Hashem is one. And today I would like to try to get a glimpse of what is really the reason, what is really the meaning in this verse that became like the religious national anthem for every Jew. Every little child learns that verse as one of the first verses. When people face tragedy and calamity and a disaster, they scream Shema Yisrael. We know stories upon stories that when a Jew said to another person that he didn't even think he is Jewish, he said Shema Yisrael, people will wake up and say, I'm Jewish. And before people die, we say this verse. This is a verse that basically escorts the Jew from almost the minute that he or she opened their eyes to the minute that he or she closed their eyes forever. So what is there in that verse that makes it so unique, so special, so important, so essential for who we are? I would like to suggest only really one idea, and there are so many other ideas that I would like to encourage you to look for. When we look at the verse, we see that the Torah used two names of God. Hashem, Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, and Elokeinu, our God. Let's pause for a second. We all know that one of the most difficult things for us as human beings is to try to comprehend the idea that Hashem is all-inclusive, which means everything that is going on in the world, may it be good and kind or may it be the opposite, it's all somehow related to Hashem. And in the time of, for example, the Greeks, many Greek philosophers could not comprehend it and couldn't handle it. Because you need to live with contradictions, you need to live with mutually exclusive elements and powers and ideas, that it's very hard to live your life like that. And what they did was the separation of God to multiple gods. There is a God of love, and there is a God of life, and there is a God of death, and a God of revenge. Because you couldn't just put everything into one God. What we say in our tradition is that Hashem, who symbolizes the attribute of mercy, and Elokeinu, that symbolizes the attribute of judgment, is one God. It's one name. Yeah, it makes our lives much more challenging. It's just very easy to say, this is the bad God, this is the good God. It's like the bad cup and the good cup. But we believe that everything comes from God. We don't know the reasons for everything, but we know that a lot of it depends on us and what we do and how do we react to things. This verse of Shema Yisrael, listen, O Israel. And listen is not only just to listen, but it's also to accept that Hashem and Elokeinu, that the attribute of mercy and the attribute of judgment comes from one entity. If you think about one of the most holiest days on our Jewish calendar is Yom Kippur. And after 24 hours of fasting and praying and repenting, what do we say? We say Hashem Hu Elokim. That the attribute of mercy and the attribute of judgment is basically one. After 25 hours of fasting and trying to look deeply in ourselves, what do we basically proclaim as a congregation? As a nation, we proclaim that Hashem is one, the unity of Hashem. And in a way, it reflects on us as the Jewish people. We are also an Am Echad, a one nation, a united nation. In our nation, we have many different personalities and many agendas and many interests. But somehow, we bring everything together as one. Hashem is one, His people is one, the Torah is one, and our land is one. We are not sure yet how the ceasefire would look like. The Israelis, the Palestinians, Egypt are all still sitting in Cairo and discussing the ceasefire. But we must know one thing. One of the most beautiful things that happened in the last 3 weeks was that the people of Israel came as one, a united nation. We must make sure that we continue this unity, as this unity is the secret for our success. We should not allow any agenda, any interest, any politics, anything to ruin this real sense of unity and love for every Jew. You had Satmar Hasidim and Gere Hasidim providing meals for the soldiers and sending gifts to the soldiers. You had the left side and the right side and the middle side and all sides coming together in support and in showing of sympathy, visiting the sick, going to funerals to soldiers that no one knew, showing a tremendous sense of unity and understanding that we are there together for better or worse. We are one people. Don't let anyone take this precious gift from us. Hashem Echad, Hashem is one, Ushmo Echad, His name is one. Umi ke'amcha Yisrael go echad ba'aretz, and who is like our people? One nation on earth. Thank you.